Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome to Hearts of Iron 4, Kalterkrieg, Shadow of the Second Weltkrieg. This is a mod that just dropped today. Probably not today, the day I'm uploading this, but today, the day I'm playing this. This has been in the works for a good long while. This is a Cold War mod in the Kaiserreich universe. It's essentially, the premise is the international collapses. The Reichspakt and the Entente become the major battling powers, with the Russian state just kind of sitting in the corner doing Russian things. For my basic understanding, I've paid semi-decent attention to this mod that's coming out. I kind of have fallen back from the modding community. So I remember, like, in the early day of releases, you had TNO, Kalterkrieg, a couple others as well. TNO dropped, and that kind of consumed me for a while. And then, Kaiserreich still updates, so I checked that out a fair bit as well. But all the other mods that were supposed to come out either just didn't, or they kind of just released and then kind of disappeared. I'm hoping this isn't one of them. Well, it already released, so it's already doing pretty well on that regard. But we're going to go ahead and hop in. And I was debating on who I was going to play. Canada is tempting. I'll probably play Canada later. Germany I will do. I gotta go and finish up the Kaiserreich series. I gotta re-record that and get into that. But I figured, since it is the 4th of July, we have to honor our true American patriots here and hop in as New England. Once seen as a North American backwater, Boston is now ready to step onto the world stage, the industrial powerhouse behind the Canadian invasions of France, Ireland, and Britain. The Republic of New England is now poised to become a power in her own right, buoyed by the conquest of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. The nation has surpassed the Pacific states in economic strength, is not far behind the American Union state. Random guy wearing sunglasses, thank you for the follow. The partnership between Canada and New England is now set to enter its second decade. As the NATO agreement is ready to redefine North America, will New England embrace its destiny as a world power? Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Go ahead, start her up. It actually did release, I know. I was very surprised, but I'm happy about it. Custom game rules. We could strengthen some stuff. We're not going to, though. Probably shouldn't even be really looking at this, but I'm only, glancing at it. White CSA, god damn it. You got me there. You got me there, Kev. By the way, if you're wondering where I'm talking to and where all the random noises are from, I'm not just talking to myself. I do that, too, occasionally, but I'm filming live on Twitch.tv right now. Probably going to record a series on Twitch as well. So if you guys want to keep up to date and watch all the uploads as they come out, go ahead and check out my Twitch. There we go. Welcome to Kalterkrieg. Shout out to all these lovely people. I assume you all are lovely, at least. And here we are. After 7 years of a war that touched every continent on the globe, the bloodiest conflict in human history is drawn to a close. The Commune fell in 1945, and the Russian state was forced to sign a ceasefire some 7 months ago. But now the International's final bastion has finally fallen. Oswald Mosley's Union of Britain capitulated, following the shocking detonations of a Heimdallr in the subsequent invasion by Entente and German forces. For the people of the Reichspakt and Entente, the victory in Europe is cause for celebration. However, the peace it's left is uneasy at best. The diplomatic relations between the Weltallianz have broken down after a series of political clashes over situation in Europe, and the optimistic cooperation promised by the Halifax Conference is now a distant memory. All the while, the terrifying weapon that the Kaiser now possesses is a concern to all. Whatever the next decade will bring, it's clear. The world has entered a new age. The atomic age has begun. Yo, West Virginia's I'm not sure what's going on in West Virginia. I don't know much of a lore. The newly assembled lore, at least. Alright, let's go ahead. Let's get these tanks with a different guy. Generals, we'll go Willard here. Field Marshals. Let's go Leslie Groves. Do we have any armor guys? We do. Isaac D. White. Holy factory. Oh my god, look at that. That is nuts. I am impressed. Holy factory count in Massachusetts. What? Oh my god. Yeah, this is wild indeed. Even like Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, they have decent factory capabilities. I like it, personally. Mass is the most developed, so we'll get some stuff going in Mass. Meanwhile, if you're going in the lower New England states, research basically the base game one, but updated, which I'm okay with. I don't have time to learn a new tree. Although we do have atomic stuff. And biological warfare. Oh boy. This does seem pretty funny, potentially. Right now, though, let's go ahead and focus on... Let's get construction. Let's get improved factories. It's actually a bit of a decently overhauled tech tree. I like it. Passad, New England. True. And you know what? Let's work on atomic weapons. Let's go for the funny. And let's go ahead and take a glance out and see what we got with New England. Here's our leader, Mr. Raymond E. Baldwin of the Republican Party, I believe. Yeah, Republican Party. So, the former governor of Connecticut, Raymond Baldwin, was an unlikely victor in the 1945 New England presidential election. Joseph P. Kennedy Sr. was seen as a shoo-in to replace David Walsh as president, but when Kennedy was implicated in a bribery scandal, Baldwin was barely elected. With New York City not yet a state, the Republicans were able to squeak into the presidency on the back of upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and Baldwin's home state of Connecticut. Faced with a hostile Congress, Baldwin's austerity economic policies are not popular. With the new states of New York City, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey added to the Union, they tipped the scales even further away from his re-election. Regardless, the economy is booming, and if he can harness it, he may serve 8 years yet. Baldwin has had a relatively scandal-free presidency, at least compared to his predecessor Walsh and former opponent Kennedy. Perhaps New Englanders will prefer a calm presence at the helm. New England Republicans, that's like seeing it. Hey, it was more common back in the day. Alright, so who do we got? Alan Dulles, Henry Cabot Lodge, J. Howard McGrath, Sinclair Weeks, John Foster Dulles, not the Dulles brothers, oh no. Raymond E. Baldwin, oh yeah, we already know about this guy. Alright, so we have a Congress GUI, that's actually cool. Oh, that's really cool. Look at that. Anyway, let's go and check out what we have status-wise starting off. First, we have politically radical states. Our gains from the CSA have been small in land but large in population. Now, upstate New York is reunited with its downstate edition of New York City. The finest city in the land, the home of American finance, populated, wealthy, glorious. Of course, that's what it once was. And now, after a decade of syndicalist control, New York City has become a dump for the syndicalist plundering of New York's wealth, either for money to put into the war effort or for ideological purposes. It'll take ages to restore the city to its previous state. Meanwhile, a few miles away sits the state of New Jersey. Jersey is an oddity within the New English Republic, considering it was very recently controlled by the AUS. When they took New York City, their unraveling CSA had recently pacified the state. Knowing good opportunity when we see it, we moved in and occupied the state as the syndicalists retreated further into their interior. Now Jersey sits as the political black sheep of the family. Its loyalties lie with the long regime rather than the Canadian-backed New English Republic. They're sure to cause a nasty headache in our political realm. Let's just hope the AUS doesn't get any funny ideas from their disloyalty to the New England state. I'm imagining Tony Soprano saying, "In this house, Huey Long is a hero and a story." My Jersey accent is coming out right now. That's all right. The Canadian Partnership. That's quite a nice bit of monthly population. Political power gain hit is a little not nice, but that's okay. It's a generally nice boost all around. It's no secret that Canada has played a massive role in the recent prosperity in New England, from the export of weapons and ships during the Second Weltkrieg to political support granted to our government by the King government. Canada is the main reason we exist. However, this relationship is mutually beneficial. While we have gained legitimacy from the Canadians and profited massively from wartime exports, we in many ways funded the reconquest of the British Isles through Lend-Lease. Now, as the economy grows even larger from the liberation of Philadelphia and the surrounding areas, we are poised to expand our role in the Accord, truly embracing our destiny as a great power. Next up, economic boon. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ever since our northern regions intervened in the devastating war on the North American continent, they have brought nothing but peace and prosperity for the men and women of New England. Our Canadian brethren, along with the rest of our mighty allies, have spared no expense into investing in our rapidly expanding economy. Thanks to the newly acquired financial markets of Wall Street, we have entered into a new dawn, a nation reborn, one closer to the maple leaf than the bald eagle. While America remains scarred by conflict and internal warfare, we are here enjoying the comfort and protection provided by Canada. Next up, Fortress New England. In the first months of the Second American Civil War, New Englanders mobilized to defend their new republic. The new government quickly ordered the construction of a defensive line on the New York-Pennsylvania border to protect New England from the syndicalists. Known as the Maple Line, this series of fortifications from the Canadian border to the Atlantic Ocean has protected New Englanders for a decade now. However, while these defenses have deterred attacks from the combined syndicates, and now the AUS, it also, in effect, means that our troops have seen very little combat in spite of a global war that's just taken place. Our offensive doctrine is woefully behind and mostly just copied off of our Canadian friends. In order to step out from underneath the shadow of Canada, New England will have to make massive military reform. And then finally, legacy of abolitionism. I am in earnest. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse. I will not retreat a single inch. Those were the words of abolitionist William Lloyd Garrison, printed in the first issue of Liberator over a century ago. Garrison was from Newburyport in Massachusetts, and the Liberator was published in Boston. He was only one link in a long, winding chain. Ever since the days of Bunker Hill and Sam Adams, New England has been a home to America's radicals, abolitionists, and activists of all stripes. This is expected to not change with the coming of the 20th century and the passing of yet another civil war. It is truer than ever, in fact, in a time where civil rights, discrimination, and equality have been pushed to the forefront and laid bare to the average American through years of struggle and experiment and popular revolution. From Augusta to Philadelphia, and ever in between, those who have long been denied their rights, women, colored folk, immigrants, Catholics, and Jews, are beginning a new chapter in New England's history of social progress. Sure thing. I got you, Kevy. Interesting indeed. Do some national focuses. We have a decent tree to start off on. I'd say it's about comparable to the Kaiserreich one. I'm still trying to figure out what we want to do. Let's go ahead. Okay, Okay, so we gotta focus on these guys to avoid... Okay, interesting. Let's go ahead and integrate the refugees to start off on. New England being based without the rest of the states of New England down kind of based, to be honest. I mean, you're not wrong. Let's go ahead and integrate the refugees to start off with. Second American Civil War saw the lost refugee crisis in the New World, and New England bore the highest proportion of it. Even years after the conflict, refugee camps are prevalent in all of our states. It's crucial to help these refugees integrate into civilian life again. Go ahead and select that. Let's take a quick look at the world around us. We got Canada, of course, who owns Alaska. A little unfortunate. They're already in progress of a focus tree. A little focus there. We got Mackenzie King there. Canada has a quite impressive focus tree. I'm probably going to be playing them after New England. But we'll get there when we get there. The AUS, Earl Long, I believe Huey Long got assassinated. I want to say. In this timeline. So we have Earl instead. Alright. And we have the PSA. My boy Earl Warren. Shout out Earl Warren. We have a decent amount. I think this only goes to one election, though. UK. Got some basic reconstruction stuff, largely, it seems. And then I got a request for Ireland. So modernize the IRA. Hee hee. And then New World Stage. Got Ulster problems. Go figure. I know that there are a couple Democratic options, plus Sinn Féin, which vaguely Democratic maybe, and then we have a NatPop option for Ireland, which is very interesting. And then let me check the faction map mode. I got a decent split across everything. Greece is in the Entente. I did not realize that. That's interesting, though. It's only making social progress is a hell of a lot easier when you don't have to pretend to give a shit about the opinions and stuff. I mean, yeah. So, Germany has a pretty impressive tree. A decently impressive tree, at least. The Red Baron's legacy, look at that. And then Danubia has what's also the it's what Danubia, Germany, New England, and Canada that have full content, however they're defining that, and some of these other guys have lesser content. Not lesser content, but less content. Good save, good save. And I know the there's beginning content in China. And then South Africa has some content as well. Middle Africa, I believe, has content. I haven't checked theirs at all. I believe both of the Frances have content, and so have the Great Lakes government. I remember that correctly. We do have the funny TNO guy in there. The Hollists. Yeah, this doesn't have much, if any, content, if I'm correct, but yeah. All right, I think it's time. Why the fuck does Canada own this little bit up here? That's fucking hideous. Jesus. Also, why is Greenland's flag that? What? You know, I'm just gonna look away from Greenland right now. Let's go ahead and get to it, huh? Let's finally unpause. There's an influence thing. Okay. Interesting indeed. Balance of powers. Oh, this is a nifty little mod. I like it. So far. The Commonwealth of New England is a new nation, born in the fires of the collapse of the U.S. of A. However, its first years have been more prosperous than anyone could have hoped. As the rest of America was plunged in civil war, the Canadians saved New England from invasion by offering protection and autonomy. Most, if not all, New Englanders were happy and relieved to be under the protection of the Canadians. New England's president, David I. Walsh, moved the New Englander economy closer to Canada than ever before. New England was rewarded for its loyalty with expansion to New York City, New Jersey, and the eastern part of Pennsylvania. However, these areas are in a bleak state, and it's hard to imagine that they were once the same nation as the rest of New England. They have been ravaged by war and have become increasingly radicalized. It will take a tremendous effort for New England to integrate them. Looming over all of this is New England's relationship with Canada. While Canada was once New England's protector, New England has grown to be a world power in its own right, with a booming economy and a population nearly double Canada's. As its relationship with the AUS sours, New England is drawn closer to the Pacific states, and many in Canada worry that New England is too focused on American unification rather than the defense of liberalism in Europe. These questions and the question of unification with our ideological counterpart of the West Coast, the PSA, will determine the near future for New England. God save New England. God save her. I think we have some decisions to look at. All right, so what do we got? So ever since we occupied New Jersey and the greater Philadelphia area, socialist elements continue to plague our efforts to exert greater control. Tensions between occupying forces and syndicalist militias have caused unrest, sabotage, and have hindered economic recovery. The broad influence of the SBA continues to prevent the population from coming to terms with our occupation and reintegrating them into a liberal society. It will take some time and a huge effort to make these states part of our core population. Let's see, we have some carriers. Carrier order, apparently. We have our Senate mechanic, which nothing really going on there yet, but I'm sure we'll get there eventually. When Canada decided to intervene in the Second American Civil War, many New Englanders were comfortable staying behind the maple line of peace and prosperity. But when Canada offered the bounties in New York City, eastern Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, it just could not be passed up. While devastated, those states added a tremendous boost in economic and manpower. They also added legitimacy to New England's claims as the real United States government. Under the old orders from President Walsh, with congressional consent, the New England Army marched in and set up an occupation authority. New York City was granted statehood in 1946, just after its absence from the 1945 elections cost Joseph P. Kennedy Sr. the presidency, though some argue Kennedy's bribery scandal was the ultimate culprit. After President Raymond E. Baldwin was sworn in on Beacon Hill, Speaker of the House John McCormick and Senate Majority Leader Irving Ives agreed to form the Joint Congressional Committee on Mid-Atlantic Statehood, or JCCMAS, which would oversee the occupational authority, including its commanding officer, General Willard Wyman. As the occupation winds down, Wyman has been called in for more and more hearings in front of the committee in Boston. His latest reports are middling in outlook. The conditions in the occupation zone are improving slowly but consistently. While Senator Ives and Senate Republicans preach caution, Speaker McCormick has all but assured the press and New England voters that a vote on statehood will happen before September 49, just in time for the 49 elections. Many assume that New Jersey and Pennsylvania will strongly vote Democratic, and Democrats are eager to have those electoral votes on their side. However, before the votes on statehood can be cast, the occupation authority must finish its work. Eliminating the remaining socialist organizers and agitators will be the first order of business. followed by the establishment of civilian police force and local governments in the cities and towns under occupation. Speaker McCormick has ordered the occupation to finish up by September 49. However, President Baldwin is dragging his feet a little bit, hoping that it might take just a bit too long and give him a much better shot at re-election. Whatever the outcome, we cannot proceed in our ambition to lead the new Liberal Alliance or face down the Kaiser without solving this ulcer to our south. Good luck, General Wyman. Alright, so it sounds like if we do get this integrated, we'll get a Democrat in. If not, we'll keep the Republicans in. Interesting. The Second American Civil War wrapped up. Representatives from the Pacific states and New England met in Ottawa to sign the Ottawa Protocols. The protocols dictate that each nation recognize the other's legitimate successor of the United States, and that should the Americas be reunited, the two nations would join together. Per the Ottawa Accords, both nations had to follow the U.S. Constitution as written. Hence, New England has a Senate and House of Reps, just like the United States. When you click on a core state, you can see the party popularity of that state, the number of electoral votes, the governor, the general electoral lean of a state, and the makeup of the House and Senate delegations. Wait, what? You can? Holy shit, you can. That is cool. Oh, man. Oh! Oh! Oh, I love it. When the elections happen, the House delegates will reflect the state's party popularity of each state. If a Senate seat or governorship is up, the most popular party will win that seat. The same goes for the Electoral College. The largest party in that state on election day will win that state's electoral votes. Understood. So we got Robert Bradford in Mass, Chester Bowles in Connecticut, John Pastor in Rhode Island. That's the guy who Mr. Rogers talked to in the Senate congressional hearing. We got Thomas Dewey. Nothing in New Jersey, but New York, we have more or less integrated. Interesting. Progressive Bastion, Republican Bastion. How many bastions over here, though? Athens of America, so a lot of Lib Dem support. And then Beacon Hill. Okay, we got, like, unique. Oh, man, this is really cool, actually. Holy crap. Live Free or Die for New Hampshire makes sense. And then, yeah. Look at this. This is very cool. It seems that we're already out of time. Which I am surprised about, but hey. Oaken Secure, Philadelphia. There we go. Anyway, that's all I got for now, my friends, but thank you all for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, like this video if you liked it, just like if you didn't, leave any comments or feedback down in the comment section below. I read all the comments again and appreciate any of you are going to have for me. Check out my various links down in the description box below, including the Twitch, which was filmed on live. Check out the sub button. Consider hitting it if you want to see more of these uploads. I do them weekdays as well as occasionally Saturdays. I do a lot of Paradox games, so if you're interested, go and check those out. And yeah, that's going to be it for now, my friends. I thank you all for watching. My name has been Mr. Dogboat53, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.